Jae S. List staff photographer Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President, CEO, and Director of Player Personnel Stephen Jones, left, answers questions next to owner Jerry Jones during a pre-draft news conference at the Star in Frisco, Texas, Tuesday, April 24, 2018. Jae S. Lee, The Dallas Morning News. The soft opening to free agency has unfolded the way of recent years for Dallas. Other teams in the division spend money and make bold moves 2 days before anything becomes official. Consternation builds among Cowboys fans who question the wisdom of their club's conservative approach and fear the team will be left behind. What has taken place so far has implications for the Cowboys' ability to land Earl Thomas, retain Cole Beasley and sign Amari Cooper to an extension. Those developments, and more, remain unresolved heading into Tuesday. Let's start with the Cowboys' pursuit of Thomas, a quest that must now be put into the category of unrequited unless the club is willing to spend well beyond what it budgeted and engage in a likely bidding war with Houston. Indications entering this week were that Thomas wanted to emerge as the NFL's highest-paid safety, surpassing the $13 million average of Kansas City's Eric Berry. That made a 2-year deal of $28 million plus at least feasible for the star who will turn 30 before he hits organized team activities this spring. Well, the landscape has changed dramatically. Landon Collins agreed to a 6-year, $84 million deal that guarantees him $45 million with Washington. Tyrann Mathieu followed with a 3-year, $42 million agreement with the Chiefs later in the day. Both average $14 million. An optimist will say the Cowboys still have a shot since Thomas has yet to agree with a team. It can also be argued the safety's list of suitors has diminished. A pessimist, or realist, will counter that all Thomas is doing at this point is adjusting his sights upward. Houston lost 2 safeties Monday in Mathieu and Kareem Jackson. Are the Texans now ready to go all in on Thomas, who has moved back to Austin with his family? The concession must be made that if the Cowboys dive into this market to sign Thomas, it will negatively impact the team's ability to tie down all of their existing, young stars to long-term deals. Slot receivers Adam Humphries and Jamison Crowder agreed to deals Monday that averaged $9 and $9.5 million. Both are younger than Beasley and both came in under what the Cowboys receiver hopes to receive on the open market. Does this make it more likely that Beasley stays? Probably not. He's predisposed to leave to show he can fill a more productive role than what's asked of him in this run-first offense. There's also this financial reality to consider. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott and Cooper are the triplets of this generation and are all in line to receive significant extensions in the next 12 to 17 months. How much money can Dallas set aside for a slot receiver who turns 30 on the second night of the April draft, especially when you consider the money already invested in the offensive line and the cash that must disperse to keep the defensive nucleus together? An extension for Cooper will happen, but doesn't appear imminent. Still, the cost of doing business has gone up since Pittsburgh traded Antonio Brown to Oakland, where the Raiders promptly gave him a 3-year, $50.1 million deal with more than $30 million guaranteed. The irony, the Raiders traded Cooper to the Cowboys, in part, because they didn't want to pay him a big money deal going forward. Now, the big money deal they have given Brown should raise the ceiling on what Dallas must pay. And file this away. Indianapolis has given Devin Funchess a 1-year deal for $10 million that can increase to $13 million. Funchess isn't nearly as good as Cooper. As for the rest of the NFC East, Philadelphia has agreed to deals with defensive tackle Malik Jackson, left tackle Jason Peters and made a trade for receiver Deshaun Jackson. Washington added Collins. The New York Giants traded for guard Kevin Zeidler. And Dallas linebacker Sean Lee signed a deal Monday that reduced his base salary. The club also added tight end Cody McElroy. The club's cautious approach to the opening hours of free agency isn't flawed. But it doesn't generate much excitement, either. Twitter, @DavidMoreDMN.